Hello, newwaveofbritishheavymetal.com here. It is the 27th of December 2020, and here we'll look at Millennium's Caught in a Warzone. But before we do that, the usual opening plea, if I may, and that's if you would please subscribe to the channel. That'd be a big help and seriously appreciated. Now, Millennium, of course, they were back around in the start of the new wave of British heavy metal movement, late 70s, early 80s. They did put out way back then a rather impressive debut album, and it looked like things were going to start happening for Millennium, but it didn't. The album, as good as it was, didn't take off, and there we are. That debut album is a fine album in itself. It's a little bit hard to find. It was reissued a few years ago, as I recall, but it is a little bit difficult to find, but worth digging out if you can. Anyway, to try and build on that momentum that the debut album all those decades ago started to build up from, the band started work on what was intended to be the follow-up. However, it wasn't working out for them at the time. They were unable to bag a record deal, and the album didn't get released. And that was it, really. The tracks lay dormant over the decades, and who knew if they'd ever see the light of day? But they have. Those demos were found and unearthed, and No Remorse Records put everything together, put the finishing touches to it, from all those long lost demos from the mid 1980s, and it's found its way out into the public domain as Caught in a Warzone. So Millennium's debut album appeared, I think this got released early 2016, I think it was. So about 35 years after the first album, the second album came out, which is Caught in a Warzone. And I must say, it's a very, very fine listen, a proper blazing slug of traditional new wave of British heavy metal. It hits hard, it sounds fresh, considering all the time that's passed since the original demos were recorded. It's hard, it's heavy, it's got big riffs, it's got rip-snorting solos that fly around everywhere, big booming rhythm section, and really energetic vocal performance as well from start to finish. Proper new wave of British heavy metal, proper rock heavy metal as well. You know, a band that could put stuff like this together, again, it just shows that back in those original new wave of British heavy metal days, to emerge from the pack, you had to be something special, and not everybody could. And even with songs as good as this, it didn't happen for Millennium back there. But at least we can listen to them now. Princess of Light is a brutal opener. A big intro riffery before it all kicks off. Power chords all over the place. Shout out chorus. Energetic lead breaks. Brilliant stuff. The title track's got a nice gentle start that you know that can't last, right? You know what's coming, and then bang, it does. Boom, off we go. Frantic pace, it cuts and gallops along, sort of a Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath type hybrid affair. Then we've got the slashing chords and frantic pace of Dance of the Dragonfly, another big attention grabber, and that's got quite a hypnotic feel about it, I suppose. And then, the album carries on in a similar vein, and in particular, check out two others. There's a really couple of like anthemic songs, and Keep On Metal and Rock Cliche, and it really isn't a cliche. It's fine stuff. So 30 odd years ago, when Millennium recorded demos that have now seen the light of day as Caught in a Warzone, they had a winning album then, which didn't get picked up by a record company. They've still got a winning album now, thanks to No Remorse. It's all energetic heaviness, big punches all over the way, and top marks to No Remorse for rescuing this and putting it out. I picked it up. I'm glad I did. It's excellent stuff. It is. I've checked No Remorse website as I started recording this, 27th of December 2020, and there are still copies for sale on No Remorse Records. So I have put a link, as always, underneath the video in the description to the CD on No Remorse. So you can go there and check it out and buy it if you'd like to. As always, there's a link back to the blog post on the website, so you can read that. And the usual closer, a reminder, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, please, that'd be big help and appreciated. And of course, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.